Phil Jackson knows this better than anyone. He's a winning coach. He knows what he's talking about when he says, if you can take the me to a we, that's when you become a winning team.
You've built the business, you're crushing it in your career, you've scaled your impact, but are you winning at home?
Welcome to the 200% Marriage Podcast. We're Meredith and Craig, and we're here to help you kill that domestic drag and turn your partner into your most elite teammate.
From Russian taxi mishaps to hailstorms on the summit, we're sharing the raw and real stories and tactical drills you need to move out of roommateville and into your 200% life.
So grab your gear. It's time to build an unstoppable team. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to another episode of the 200% Marriage Podcast. We have been reading the book, The 200% Marriage, Your Winning Playbook to Be an Unstoppable Team. And we are starting part 4, chapter 15. I am reading it because I wrote this chapter, so let's get it going. Part 4, the commitment to your team and your teammate. You don't inspire your teammates by showing them how amazing you are. You inspire them by showing them how amazing they are. Robin Benincasa. Chapter 15, kick ass, chew bubblegum, take names. Good teams become great ones when the members trust each other enough to surrender the me for the we. Phil Jackson. I'm back. It's me, Craig. We promised we'd make transitions crystal clear, and I think we're doing a hell of a job, if I do say so myself. We'll celebrate that. Fist bump. Relationships are a team sport. Your marriage is a team, which also means you and your partner are, by definition, teammates. When you enter into a marriage, you're sacrificing the me first mindset that may have gotten you to that point in life. Just like the quote at the start of this chapter from legendary basketball coach Phil Jackson says, teams go from good to great when they surrender the me for the we. The faster you can replace the me first approach with the we first approach, the better your marriage will be. Think about your favorite sports team. If you don't have a favorite sports team, it's okay. We can still be friends. Just picture your kid's sports team. If that doesn't work either, stop being difficult. You've definitely seen a team somewhere. Just imagine a team, any team. Now picture how that team would perform if every player only cared about themselves, if they only played for themselves, if they only practiced when they felt like it, or worse yet, didn't practice at all. If they only thought about what was best for them. Suppose they did what they wanted regardless of what the team needed. How successful do you think that team is going to be? Unsuccessful, supremely bad, 0% chance of winning. And yet, that's exactly what we see so often in relationships. This was old me, by the way. The version of me who didn't understand he was entering a team sport when I said I do the first time. I never shifted from me to we. I was a bad teammate. In fact, I was so bad that I didn't even recognize that I was a teammate at all. I continued playing my own game on single player mode. To win the marriage game, we need to act like a team. But what does that actually mean? What does it actually look like in practice? How do you make the shift from a single player game to a team game? How do we create an unstoppable team? All great questions. And the fact that you're asking them means you're already on your way to being a fantastic teammate. The first way your team wins is by listening to your coach. Coaches bring wisdom and share strategies to help you succeed on the field. Every unstoppable team needs a coach to guide them, to avoid pitfalls, and to see what they can't see themselves. If you're trying to create a new marriage, which, as we established back in chapter 1, we're assuming you are, you need a coach who already has the kind of marriage you want. You also need to assess whether their heart is true, whether they genuinely want what's best for you, and whether their values and personalities align with yours. If you find a coach who checks your boxes, firstly, understand how rare that is. They're worth their weight in gold. Hang on tight and never let them go. Don't be awkward, break any laws or anything. Just let them know you appreciate them. And most importantly, follow their advice. That's enough. No stalking required. We are honored to serve as your coaches as you work through this book. The book you're holding is your game plan. As your coaches, we play a vital role in your team's success. But, and you remember how we feel about big butts, we like them, no lie. We cannot play the game for you. We're doing everything in our power to set you up with a solid game plan, a strong strategy, and the necessary skills. But you still need to play. You need to execute. You need to ask questions when you don't understand. You need to show up day in, day out, and put in the work. Ultimately, you are the one who controls your outcome. And the best way to ensure a winning outcome is to do what other successful teams do. We call these the 5 rules to be an unstoppable team. Follow these rules and your team will kick serious ass, chew bubblegum, and take names, all at the same time. You will become unstoppable. #winning.
Boom. Chapter 15.
Chapter 15, kind of an intro to part 4 and what's to come.
Short and sweet.
It's short and sweet. It's
most of the intro chapters are. They're just kind of laying the groundwork.
They are. Yeah. And this one's no different. So the next 5 chapters of the book are going to be going through each of the unstoppable team rules before we get into some of the other tactics and strategies for working with your teammate.
It's interesting. I love the Phil Jackson quote, actually.
It's a fantastic quote for this chapter.
Right.
To kick off this section.
It's a fantastic quote for
like
marriage in general.
Yeah.
But for this particular
and it's not even a marriage quote. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's a basketball team quote.
Right.
It's literally he used it with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
But it works so fantastically well for relationships.
Yeah.
Because the basketball team is a relationship.
For sure. It's actually more complicated because you've got more personalities. There's 5 guys on a floor.
And you got Dennis Rodman. Like, come on.
One of the things Dennis Rodman.
One complicated, I'll say.
But a basketball team has 5 different personalities on the floor at any one time that you're trying to gel into a cohesive team. At least in a marriage, there's only 2 of you.
Yeah, and in the locker room, there's like 12 to 15 of them.
Right. And so the quote so beautifully sets the stage for what we're going to talk about, especially in the next 5 chapters for the unstoppable team rules, but really throughout this whole part as we and the rest of the book as we really dig into the team together. Because the first part of the book, the first 2 parts of the book, 2 and 3, are individual.
Yeah.
Like you taking your accountability and then you working on yourself.
Yeah.
And then these last 3 parts are all about the team.
Yeah, this is the kickoff to working together and creating that unstoppable team energy. And how do you do that? Well, this is the section that's going to talk about.
It's a tough shift, right? Because for our whole life to this point, it's always been about me. What's best for me? Every decision, every action, everything I've done in my life up to the point where we get married, where we get together, is what best serves me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an easy, it's a titanic shift to start thinking about what's best for us.
If ingrained behavior for sometimes 30, 40 years, by the time you find your person, start to think about marriage in your 20s anyway, that's a long time to be ingrained in thinking a certain way. It's a huge ship to turn now, because there's so much stuff going on with decisions you've made, the history you've had, all of your way of thinking for so long, and now you have to switch that mindset to something completely different. You're thinking of not only you, but of another person, and then the third entity of your relationship and what's best for that, and turning that ship of that mindset of 20 years, of 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of being ingrained a certain way, and now thinking a completely different way. It takes time, but if you can do it, you become a successful team. And Phil Jackson knows this better than anyone, being the coach.
How many championships does he have?
Well, he I don't know, like 6 with Michael and a couple more with Kobe and the Lakers. And so he's a winning person. Like he's a winning coach. He knows what he's talking about when he says, if you can take the me to a we, that's when you become a winning team.
And to your point, it's a tough transition, because you've been conditioned for so long to think of yourself first. And so it's going to require some grace. This is going to be a bumpy transition for both of you as you make this transition from a me first approach to a we first approach. So have grace for yourself and have grace for your teammate. And then to your point, Phil Jackson's a winning coach. And he's a winning coach because he was able to think from a we first perspective, and he could get his players to buy into the strategy. And in the book, we talk about when you can find a coach who has your best interest at heart. Like,
hang on tight.
They're not always going to say things that you agree with, and that's the point. Like, if Phil Jackson always agreed with everything Michael Jordan said, Michael Jordan probably would like that on the surface, but then they wouldn't have won 5 championships or 6 championships together.
Yeah. The other thing that's really critical about this chapter that we say here is that the coach can lay out the strategy, and they can give you the advice and
All the
what
tools.
to do, what not to do, based on experience, based on strategy. But it's on the players to execute.
You got to run the plays.
So you can have the game plan, you can have the book, but you have to do something with it. You have to take the plays and actually do something with it to create change, to move forward in the game, to win.
And so while we think the book is totally awesome, obviously,
It's a winning playbook.
It's a winning playbook, and it's fun.
It's your winning playbook.
It's a fantastic book, and it's fun to read. But if you just read it and don't actually run the plays that are in the book, you're not going to get the result. So read the book, and while you're reading the book, run the plays, do the things. Like we just talked about a couple chapters ago, those 4 happiness habits. Did you run those plays? Are you running those plays?
Are you doing that? Are you taking a walk in nature for 15 minutes? Are you expressing gratitude? Are you breathing? Are you showing appreciation to someone? It takes 18 minutes. And that's just one example. And there's going to be so much, like I don't think we're halfway through this book.
No.
And there's been so much so far, but are you doing the things? So check in with you. This is a really great opportunity as we're diving into the next section here and really diving into the relationship with the team and your teammate is, are you doing the things up to now? The relationship with yourself, the mindset work. Have you started doing that stuff? And if not, why not? Check in with yourself, because like we say, this is a winning playbook. It's your winning playbook. But if you're not running the plays, then nothing's going to change.
It's a playbook. It's meant to be executed.
We can give you all the strategies, all the tactics, all the things, but it's up to you to execute the plays to become a winning team.
So, moment of reflection time. Get honest with yourself. Are you running the plays? And if you're not, let's draw a line in the sand and start running the plays now. And on that note, we'll see you next week.
We will see you next week for chapter 16.
If today's episode gave you a new lens for your relationship, don't let it stop here. The best teams never stop training.
On Thursdays, we drop the Unstoppable Team newsletter on LinkedIn. It's our high-performance briefing designed to give you one tactical drill you can run with your teammate over the weekend.
So just search Meredith and Craig on LinkedIn, or click the link in the show notes to subscribe. Get the briefing, kill that domestic drag, and we will see you next Tuesday.